a tagline, and I haven't come up with one just yet. You'll join us if you're joining us live. You join us on Saturday after the Azerbaijan qualifying. There's a lot to talk about, particularly with China, or more precisely, Azerbaijan. And before we start, we do have an important announcement to make. We have to mourn the loss of something that's been bugging us for the last couple of days. Vettel's moustache has passed away. It's a serious moment. Be quiet. Joining me as always, we've got Lard and Will, and we've also got Henry in the pit lane, and we've got Damien, also known as Waffle. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
How are you all doing? You all good?
Not too bad, thank you, buddy.
That's good to hear. We're going to crack on. Henry's going to keep an eye on the chat. That's live at the moment, aren't you, buddy?
Yeah, I can do. Yeah, why not?
Yeah. And then we got Damien, Lard, and Will all playing the game, apart from Damien because his wife's taking the Xbox off him.
Well, you can't put it like that. Come on.
Go on, Ned.
Oh,
Apparently, I'm waiting for players.
mate.
I can't play. Hang on, we can't play. And what can I do? If I just unlock the slot. Yeah.
Oh my.
There we go. We can ready up now. Right, ready up.
Oh my dear.
There we go. So, let's talk about China. Good race.
No.
It's my opinion on that one.
F1 1000th World Championship race, and I had one word written down. Boring.
I had processional.
Processional.
It wasn't the 1000th race, though, was it? We discussed this off screen.
Yep. It was only the World 1000th Championship event.
Thank you.
Yeah. Exactly.
So in 2020, we'll all have a party again because it will be the 1000th race. So we'll all have another party.
When will that happen, roughly? Which race will that fall on? Please, not China.
I don't know, to be honest. I don't know. It's the answer to that. I don't know.
You don't know. That's fine. I need to load a car setup here. There we go. Done. So we're doing one-shot qualifying because it's a shorter podcast tonight. It's only an hour and a half. I want to go to track. That's what I want to do. Okay. Here we go. Time to focus. So, I mean, let's talk about lap one. Lap one was a little bit action-packed, to say the least. I think that's probably where the action happened, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was
Here we
it.
go.
So you got, Hamilton with his move at the start, and pretty much that was him.
Yeah.
Yep. You see, I'm slightly in disagreement there with it being Hamilton's move as Bottas's error. And even then, it wasn't really an error, because if you look at the start line at China, the actual start line is a lot closer to P1 on the grid than most tracks. And if you watch it back, all you see is basically Valtteri gets a little bit of grip, hits the white paint of the start line, and just spins his wheels.
It was quite sticky, that start line, or finish line, so to speak.
Hmm.
But this isn't a problem that's happened in previous seasons, so is this a change in tyre compound?
It could be.
Ted went on to the track, didn't he? And he got his shoe stuck on the white paint.
He did, didn't he?
It was that sticky.
Yeah.
It was whatever they used more than the tyres, I think.
I don't know, because they've put that new spray on the tyres as well, haven't they, to make them look shiny,
Hmm.
Yeah.
which could have transferred over onto the paint.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, Lewis had he'd been sort of chucking rubber down on his dummy starts. So he had sort of much more grip anyway. But I think you've got to look at whether was Valtteri hindered in his start by the fact he got stuck on some paint.
don't know. To me, it just sounds very flimsy as it is. As a reason, it just does. It really does. I mean,
Very tarmac and white.
yeah,
It's valid.
it just does. It just sounds like one of those excuses,
Hmm.
like the wrong leaves on the line.
Yeah.
Trying
Does
to
it?
misfire.
So,
No, I mean,
oh, well, Will, where are you, lad? Oh,
I don't know.
146. Back of
Bloody
the grid.
Wow. I thought I was higher up than that. It felt a better lap than that.
Wow.
Come on, lads.
Got some catching up to do then.
Yeah, I think first lap the incident that I picked up on was obviously the torpedo. That is Kvyat
Yeah, go on.
going into the McLarens, and I know you're going to say it's a racing incident, but hitting two cars and steering into the McLarens after a bit of a tank slapper, and it also gave us a great Lando Norris meme as well. I can't speak today. I can't speak. I haven't had any alcohol.
You sure?
I'm sure. Positive. Why do you think I'm racing tonight? We could be just talking at the end of this, by the way. Buck your ideas up, Lard Team Maker, according to Michael Patterson. I know I'm doing your job, Ted. I really can't speak.
I'll just go home now. That's it.
No. You're staying put. Right.
I feel the penalty was harsh. I'm not the only one. I did check Twitter after the race, and a lot of fans felt that the penalty was harsh on Torpedo.
That is Twitter.
Yeah, everybody loves to shout on Twitter.
I don't think it was harsh. He took out two McLarens. Grosjean.
Lando Norris was off the track. Lando Norris was off the track when he came back on.
He had two wheels on the track.
No, he was off.
Who was
He
off?
was off the track.
Yeah, but that still doesn't
it was
excuse Kvyat slamming into Sainz, who was on the track.
Well, no, it pinched it in, didn't he? Because when Norris came back on it, it pinched Sainz in between both of them. If Lando Norris should have just stayed out, run a bit wider, and then come back on the track. I know they lost paces, but he would have been fine, man.
I think it's the fact he took out two of the same team, which the stewards needed to look at. Of course, if they were in a championship battle, that would have been quite decisive.
Yeah.
I still think it's a racing incident, which looks worse because it's him.
Yeah.
But I can see the point that you've just taken out a whole of the team, basically.
Yeah.
And McLaren could end up fighting for position at the end of the year.
Let's face it, if it happened on the Ferraris, there'd be uproar about it. Or it happened on McLaren's, Mercedes, it'd be a huge uproar about it, wouldn't there?
He won't take up Ferrari now, will he? Because he was a Ferrari personnel last year.
But even so, it's still... You get my point, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If it was a different team, if it was a higher-up team, Red Bull, Mercedes or Ferrari, they would have said, oh, that's a well-deserved penalty.
Oh, yeah.
So...
Yeah.
Red Bull.
So opinions, because it's a lower team, McLaren's a lower team, are just a bit...
Again,
Go on.
what team would people have given that, if anything, would be a better question.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll think about that, because I put the question. You guys can answer first.
Penalties.
Penalty for that incident, yeah.
Okay.
You shouldn't have given a penalty for that one. It was the first lap. They normally say they're being a bit more lenient.
Yeah.
And that one they're not. It's like where's the consistency?
Well, I think, like you say, his reputation doesn't help him, does it?
But that shouldn't matter.
I know it shouldn't matter, but obviously I'm guessing they've taken that into consideration, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they must have done. I mean, it probably is the same with Verstappen with some of his stuff. But again, even that first lap instance with him shouldn't matter. His reputation either.
Yeah.
See, I would have said, all right, I think drive through harsh, but I would have said 10 seconds stop time penalty.
Not 5 seconds.
Nope. He took out two cars, regardless of Lando being off the track or not. Lando's race was ruined. Full stop. So yeah, he could have recovered.
5 each.
They both had to go into the pits. Yeah, 5 each.
Yeah.
So that's what I would have given. Oh, I'm very passionate about this today. It's the only part of China that I was passionate about, if I'm honest.
It's the only time you're going to be passionate, isn't it?
It's McLaren, mate. It's McLaren. I'm a lifelong fan.
Did he get any points on his license?
2.
You got 2. That's just the standard thing, though, isn't it? You always give 2 points, I suppose.
Yeah.
You see, there's a reason he has a reputation. It's because he's always in those situations. Perhaps a better driver would not always be pinched into the corners.
Or a better car.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the Toro Rosso's slow, but...
Oh, I think we've got to get onto Toro Rosso today later on, aren't we? So,
Yeah.
about that. But other than that, I mean, Will, what about your opinion? You said leave it till last.
I guess I would have gone more with a 5-second penalty and 2 on the licence.
Okay.
Science, at least, which then caused him to go into Norris. Although he did take out 2, I think the team might have had to have a bit of a talking to. But as a driver, he's only actually caused 1 incident, which caused another, as such.
Right.
Yeah.
So 2 points on the licence and a 5-second penalty, I think would have been an okay sort of penalty, if one at all. Again, that one, it's hard.
Right.
It would be hard. I think they could have given that.
Yeah. What about Woff? Did you make any comment at all?
Yeah, I'm kind of sort of torn between the two, really. Because, as has been said, lap 1, turn 4.
Yeah.
It's everybody's still bunched up. It's not exactly the most spacious corner.
No.
So you can look at it. Is it a racing incident? Yes, it probably is. But at the same time, should he have backed off? I mean, it's not like you can't see the pinch coming. I mean, especially the fact he's between 2 bright orange cars. Hang on.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time now is 9:15. Check your clocks, everyone. It's 9:15.
So yeah,
Either Lars made a mistake or he's worried that his clock slowed down.
Column A, column B.
That'll do. Oh, I did a bit of a pirouette there.
Clock, right?
I said clock. Clock.
Yes.
There we go. Henry, what about you? And the chat in a second.
Well, it was the first stop incident.
Yeah.
I feel that the drive-through was a bit harsh. But maybe, like we'll say 5 seconds, because he's gone into science, who's then gone into Norris, was probably a bit fairer. But if you got 10 seconds, you wouldn't have disagreed with it, would you? Let's be fair. If you got a 10-second penalty drive-through.
No.
So I feel the penalty was a bit harsh, but they've obviously looked into a number of factor of things to decide that.
Yeah.
I suppose his car didn't get that damaged either to ruin his race, unlike the McLarens.
Exactly. God, I'm in fighting talk today. Henry, what's going on in chat?
Henry?
And we've lost the pit lane. We've lost the pit lane.
I'm here.
All
Here.
right.
Can you hear me?
Hello.
Back. I'm
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Busy eating a bagel.
He is eating a bagel, isn't he?
I'm going to put my sandals on. No. Michael Patterson just said 5 seconds for each sounds fair. Fairer.
I've got someone who agrees with me. Yay. Not just the host here. Not just the host. I have some ideas.
Yeah, that's it really. Oh, Michael Patterson said it's 9:15 as announced by the official Turn 1 World Stories Clearance branded timepiece.
Available now on all good retail stores.
I'm not mentioning any other thing on the podcast that will never make it past iTunes.
I avoided it tactfully. Did
Thank
you notice?
Yes, I know.
To find out what that is, tune in post-podcast.
Yes, absolutely. So, let's talk. Let's move on to Mercedes and the pace and Ferrari's pace. I mean, what was going on with with those red cars, the prancing horses? What was going on with them? They just seemed to have fizzled out. Was it the engine, or was it they were just carrying too much drag? I know we're talking about Azerbaijan later, but where was Ferrari's pace that weekend?
I think part of it, and this is going out on like an extreme limb because I can't think of a better excuse for them, is on race day the track was a lot cooler and the wind was a lot higher.
Right.
So I'm blaming the weather.
You're blaming the weather. Everywhere you go, always take the weather with you.
Absolutely. Then. But no, I think they seem to do sort of like they seem to excel in qualifying. They seem to have access to this extra sort of almost sort of like this extra level of power, which come race day they just seem to say, we don't need that, we turned off. It is quite strange because it does seem to just disappear when it comes to the race day. I don't know what's going on with them. I think a lot of it, partly I think it's we want our star man as the lead car whenever possible.
Yeah.
And I think they try and juggle a lot of strategy around getting Vettel as many points as he can because he's a proven world champion. And can we get another world champion run from him? Can he get us a constructors champion, etc., etc.? So I think part of it has. You can at least consider whether it's the Ferrari pit wall saying, well, if we can slow Charles down, get Seb in front, we might have a chance later on in the season. But it's a bit of a sort of the word I want to use. It's a bit of a long shot in terms of where's your power gone.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone else want to add, Lard?
I don't know. I have a strange feeling that Barcelona was flattering the Ferrari during winter testing, and it's just not materialising on these different tracks because of the way the track layouts are.
Right. So
there's just something just not there. I don't know whether Mercedes may have been sandbagging a little bit during testing.
Has he? I mean, obviously this is going back a little bit, but with Key, did Key have any? He didn't have any involvement in this car. Did he have any involvement in 2018 car before he went on gardening leave and went across to Mercedes?
It's very possible.
So do we think the loss of Key is actually affecting Ferrari?
It's a possibility, but I'm not 100% certain that would be the case. It's just because you saw all their stunning times. I mean, hell, even Leclerc is still showing that as promise. I just think they're being flattered slightly.
Right. You think?
Right, winter testing.
Like you say, you think Mercedes was sandbagging it a little bit, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Will?
Indecision, I think. Because Charles was out first, so tried to push a gap, ruined his tyres. Vettel was behind and cooked his tyres. Then they decided Vettel should go in front. So Vettel goes in front with his slightly cooked tyres, then cooks the rest of Leclerc's tyres, and starts with bad tyres, and have wasted a lot of time fighting over who should be in front. There's definitive car one, even though they say it's Vettel, because Leclerc's just overperforming or doing better, in my opinion. If they'd give him the full strategy chance, and they're just buggering themselves up. As a Merc fan, I'm happy to see it. And as a Ferrari, as an F1 fan, I am slightly disappointed. Ferrari fall into such an easy track with two brilliant drivers. But that's up to them. They are known for bad strategy.
And what about the... I can't remember the choices. That's it. Team orders. I mean, it turns out to be either a stroke of genius from Ferrari or their Achilles heel, surely.
Far too early in the season for team orders.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unless the car has a problem, it's too early.
Well, apparently the call to Charles went in on lap 8. It took them 3 laps to get him to let Vettel through. And you've got to sort of, think in that scenario, like you say, we're what sort of 3 races into the season. It's far too early to be shuffling your drivers around and trying to get them in the right positions on the in the standings. I mean, you look at like you had Vettel on the radio saying, I'm faster, I'm faster, I'm faster, and then when they swapped them round, you've got Leclerc keeping pace with Vettel for the rest of the race, and Vettel went past Charles, and he basically turns to his engineer and goes, "What now? What am I supposed to do now?" And he's pushing his engineer to swap back later on in the race to nothing. So to me, it's it kind of reiterates what I was saying earlier. I think Ferrari are already putting all of their eggs into the Vettel basket.
Yeah,
well, they did a Raikkonen as well, didn't they? Just left him out there with no plan.
Yeah.
Here you go. Do what you will. Right.
Which is always a bad call for a team, really, to do that so early in the season. Leclerc is a brilliant young talent, and he at the minute I feel like he's been wasted.
He is,
because I was listening to a slight thing from 5 Live today because I've been working a bit today, and they were talking about Vettel and pressure from youngsters and not having it his own way. And thinking back to Red Bull, I know we've had this discussion probably episode 1, episode 2, but Vettel, when Ricciardo came across up to replacing Mark Webber at Red Bull, he didn't like it. He got into a bit of Mr. Sulky Pants, and now Leclerc trying to show his card by going, hey, whoa, I'm not going to be the number 2 driver here. I want to prove myself as number 1. You brought me to this team. Let me do my bit. He's not. I think that would have peed Vettel off, the fact that Raikkonen didn't stay because that was his recommendation, and they switched him with Leclerc.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing to sort of bear in mind is that, as I was saying on the last episode, I think you got to look at whether the pressure of a younger man sniffing at his heels is getting to Vettel, and the amount of times Vettel locked up and ran wide in China. You got to ask: is it because he could see Charles in his mirrors still? Is the fact that the guy who has effectively been brought in to push you and challenge you and possibly take your number 1 seat from you, if he can maintain race pace with you, surely that's got to do something to your ego and your psyche. Because the amount of times he made mistakes in China is incredible for a 4-time world champion, at least.
Yeah, I agree. Henry.
Hello.
Hello. How are you doing? Being a bit quiet.
I think Ferrari's pace was down to a number of factors. Did they set the car up in its sweet spot? Did they really get the best out of it? The weather, as Waffle said. And then team orders as well. It's too early in the season to be doing team orders, surely.
Agreed.
If Vettel's faster, then yeah, you let him through. But what was Vettel going to do once he got past? He'd already burnt his tyres up being behind Leclerc, and he wasn't going to catch Mercedes because they were 3 or 4 tenths of that quicker, so they weren't going to catch him. So why not just leave as it was? To be fair.
Yeah, very true. Have I spoken to everyone? Is that everyone talked about Ferrari? Will, do you speak about Ferrari?
Yeah.
You have. Sorry, concentrating that much on the race, I've forgotten who's spoken to who.
Michael Patterson says, I'm very surprised they are doing team orders this early in the season at Ferrari.
Yeah, I think that's everyone's general consensus, really, isn't it?
Would you be surprised if they gave Max all the team orders and let him go through first?
Well,
Such a thing.
Red Bull aren't too well known for team orders, really, are they? Yes, there's Multi-21 from Malaysia a few years ago with Vettel and Webber, but realistically, they're not. They tend to let their drivers fight, a bit like Mercedes, a bit like many other teams. may even happen now at Racing Point since Ocon and Perez aren't in the same team anymore. Well, saying that, Perez hasn't got anyone to fight with because Stroll's further down the grid as always. But yeah, Ferrari are always the ones that you associate team orders with.
I was just making the point, like, where it's an obvious number 2 driver. They're definitely team orders in Red Bull, but nobody's kicking up a fuss about that.
Yeah, because Gasly is a number 2 driver, isn't he? That's,
Well, yeah. But
it's not that it's been a while.
And they've said Leclerc is a number 2 driver, so should we really be that surprised?
yes, no, but same time though, Leclerc is faster than Vettel.
Yeah, as fans, it's disastrous for us, but as a team, are we really surprised? Raikkonen has been faster last year on many races than Vettel, but who got the strategy call?
Monaco brings to mind. Was it Monaco last year or the year before when Kimi was leading and they overcut him, didn't they, with Vettel, and Vettel won the race.
Yep.
I see a comment in the chat, Ted. Although I can't read
Oh
it.
dear. Jerry Mira says Ferrari have no idea how to race drives equally. Imagine they can't get the things right either, can they? They seem to be making silly mistakes
They do.
at the minute.
Are we going to mention the best bit of China?
Go on.
That beautiful double pit stop.
That was on my notes. Second stop, wasn't it?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, when they double stacked Hamilton and Bottas.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
That was, even though there was a problem with taking off Hamilton's rear left, wasn't there? Yeah, that seemed to get a bit stuck.
That's why Bottas slowed down, didn't he? Because you could see that there was an issue, so he just sort of slowed down a little bit to bide in that time, or to bide the team the time, so they could get him out and get him straight in and straight out as well.
That was beautiful.
It was.
Absolutely beautiful.
I mean, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I think this has the potential to be a Valtteri season. I think he's matured incredibly. But I'll wait. There we go.
There. I'll continue, please.
Yeah, no, I think totally not. His racecraft, certainly in the first couple of races this season, he's a much more mature driver. He's a lot more patient on track. He's a lot more. You can hear sort of the calmness in his radio messages. And I think the double stack where he's actively looking ahead and going, okay, they're having trouble with Lewis. I'll take my foot off the accelerator for a minute. I think he's got a chance this year. I mean, I think it's a similar thing with Mercedes that Vettel's having a Ferrari where Lewis is starting to watch the guy behind him and just wonder.
I wouldn't say Hamilton's panicking.
Oh no, he's not panicking, but I think he's a lot more aware of Valtteri this year as opposed to him just being his rear gunner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say so far they have worked as a team. Team Vettel. Or team I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Have you gone one-stop
That was
strategy, Will?
Might be.
Uh-oh.
I started on the super soft, so
Yeah, I'm on super softs. I went from ultra softs to super softs.
yeah. I also checked their setup that was on the leaderboard.
Oh dear. I've got a feeling that I'm not going to have second place for too long.
Just on the speed or apparent speed that Ferrari have over Mercedes on the straights, did anybody hear what Benotto said before this weekend's Grand Prix?
No.
Would you like me to quote him? Would you like me to quote him?
Go for the
Go
quote.
on.
Okay, so he said, so maybe you should ask them how they are so good. I don't think there is much on the straights between us and the others.
So he has no idea.
Yeah. I'd like to say that in the speed trap in FP2, they were quite similar speeds for Ferrari and Mercedes for the speed trap at Baku. obviously then Mercedes turning up in qualifying, and yeah, leave it there,
Yeah.
yeah. do you know, I just did that. Joe Mira says the double stack was a thing of beauty.
Yeah.
Mm.
It really was. They needed to do it right there, right then, and it paid off perfectly.
Yeah.
I was rubbing my thighs.
Keep it clean, man. Keep it clean.
It's obviously going to have a mature tag against it now.
Oh God, yeah.
18 plus.
It always has.
Say 18
blooming.
plus.
It seems to have explicit or mature tags.
Yeah.
So that's China. Let's see. There were some other things as well, but I'm going to get onto the long straight and have a quick look. Just have a quick look what I've got written down here.
Yes.
Merck's pace.
Yeah.
Haas losing pace.
They weren't exactly quick this weekend either, were they?
No,
No.
let's face it. Their car is. We said it in race 1, didn't we, in Australia, where they tend to be very good, but then start going downhill. Downhill after 3 races?
Apparently they couldn't get the tyres turned on today in qualifying. So whether it's just they can't get, whether they
Sorry.
just can't get.
Sorry.
Is it a case of that they can't get the tyres in the right range? I don't know. Or, or is it a fundamental thing?
Grosjean said the only thing they could do was get the tyres turned on in quali. So if they can't do that now either, say hello to Williams.
Oh dear. But that Haas is just getting worse and worse, isn't it? And I'm sure Gunther Steiner said it was good. I'm sure he had was there something along the lines of that? He said it was a good race for them, good turnout. Which race was he watching?
He said it was, but then he was interviewed during the week. And, Gunther, how's it going? And the general synopsis was, I have no idea how it's. It's like, wow, you've really got control of your team there. I mean, I feel sorry for the guy. I mean, like you said, they all seem to have a good package at the start, or at least a package which has the potential to be developed into a better than most package.
Yeah.
But like you said, they just seem to sort of not care all of a sudden. Sort of halfway through weekends, they do really well during free practice. Qualifying goes one of 2 ways, and then the race. I mean, we've seen before, both out by lap 6 before, and you think, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
It's a shame because it's nice to see sort of such a young team coming out of pretty much nowhere and saying we are an F1 team. Look at us. We can stand on our own feet. Or I heard that laugh. You know what I mean? They've got the backing of Ferrari, but it's pretty much they're there because they want to be there. They're not being they're not riding on Ferrari's coattails sort of thing.
They're spending within their means, aren't they? They're not, going, oh, this is us, and then putting all the money in or spending money they don't have.
Yeah.
And then trying to get, say, like a top 4 position, and then don't get it, and then they're bankrupt and out, and they lose another team. They go to Ferrari by as many bits as they can. There's nothing against that.
Yeah.
So fair play to them. They've gone to Ferrari and gone, give us what you can.
I think they'll be doing that until they've learned enough for this. They've learned enough for what they need to do. So they can actually start making stuff on their own.
Yeah. Once they've got to grow themselves as a team, haven't they? Do you know what I mean? If they can make themselves, they're getting decent money, like coming in the coffers, then they can start building their own things, whatever else. They'll be, hopefully they'll be here for years to come. To be honest,
I think there will be. Sorry?
Haas is just last year's Ferrari. It's all it is. I disagree with the team ethic when it comes to racing like that. Why don't Williams just buy last year's Mercedes? It'd be a hell of a lot cheaper.
They're not really happy with Mercedes, are they? But I mean, I say they're not happy with Mercedes, but they're still getting the engines off Mercedes, aren't they?
Yeah.
And they've got George Russell, so.
Exactly. Russell knows how that Mercedes was last year.
Yeah.
And if they were to test the bits off them, Russell was putting in what? Times rivaling Bottas? So, you know, if one team's doing that, why shouldn't the others?
Yeah.
Especially struggling with such a heritage.
I think part of it's down to pride. You know, like you say, they've got this heritage and they want to sort of hang on to it, don't they?
They do.
I can be proud of 19th and 20th. The rest of it.
The question is, can they afford it though? That's the, Williams. Can they really afford to do whatever? In essence,
they are supporting Mercedes reserve drivers.
yeah.
There is a bit of a deal there to be struck.
I think it's their engines in it. I suppose they get a discount.
Yeah. So what's the front wing? It's a chassis.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, sounds like they're going to need a chassis after this weekend. We'll get onto that in a bit.
Oh, Jeremy said I've missed qualifying today because I was watching Formula E, which was a stop-start wet race. So, Joe, when we talk about qualifying, mate, mute the sound.
Yeah.
Mute the sound, mate.
Well, it's not going to be too far away. I have got something down here about the race, though. Gasly P6.
Yeah.
I know he did pit and he got the fastest lap. But if we take what's the average pit stop in China? 25 seconds, something like that.
28 seconds.
28 seconds. So he still would have finished. Take that off the time. He finished 57 seconds behind fourth place. Take that off of the time. He would have been 28 seconds behind. 28 seconds behind Leclerc. I mean,
Good for him, is it?
it's not. And after today, which we'll get onto again, he's definitely got. He hasn't got any luck, or he's just been. I don't know.
He's not the luck, has he? But he's obviously not. He's come to a new team, which is a car handles a different way to how he's probably used to a car handling. If that makes sense. He's probably still trying to. I guess he's still trying to learn how to set the car up. But apparently he was all before qualifying. He looked really happy. Or during qualifying, he looked quite happy. So I think he was happy with how he got the car set up today, or this weekend. So maybe he'll have a good race tomorrow. I don't know.
I think I know what it is.
Go on.
I think it's just Verstappen. Wheel nuts and messing with the engines to make his son look better. That's what it is. That's what happened with Ricardo last year. Still just Verstappen's fault.
It's Yoss, is it?
Yeah.
He does always have a shifty look on his face.
He always does.
does.
He's always looking at the car.
Even when he was a racing
Problem
driver, he
solved.
always did.
And the one race that he didn't turn up to, Ricardo finished. See?
Yeah. So has he
What?
sneaked across the Renault's garage then, and still tinkering with the car there?
Yeah.
Hey, Daniel finished a race last week.
Hey.
Last time out, he
Yeah.
got a points, and he got Renault some points as well, which is
Got
nice.
points.
Some points.
On Ricardo. Ricardo.
Yeah.
Obviously, as we mentioned, he actually finished the race. But he put it down to, or I don't know if he put it down to, but Mark Hughes did a piece, which was on Sky, and he did the Bahrain test, didn't he? After Bahrain, and he learned that the car, I say he learned, he's had to adapt his driving style because the car isn't good enough on the brakes to do his braking, or didn't like it, and he can't bounce over the curbs because it doesn't help the car. The car's not set up to go over curbs. He's had to change his driving style slightly.
Right.
So we need to worry for Baku then, with all the late braking manoeuvres.
Yeah, well, Renault were changing a load of. Were changing their wing all through free practice 2 and 3, weren't they? They couldn't get the right setup.
No, it couldn't.
They didn't. Well, but we'll go on to that later as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we've got, to be fair, anything else that we can bring about China? Because
2 out of 10. Boring, but it was a race.
Yeah. Hulkenberg retired because it was an MGUH. In Bahrain, it was an ICE problem.
I thought his retirement was an MGUK.
Hey?
I thought Hulkenberg's retirement was an MGUK.
Yeah, in China it was, but in Bahrain it was these ICE. I always say
Internal
ICE.
combustion engine.
ICE.
Sorry.
Just say engine.
Okay, engine. There you go. So him, Kvyat, and who's the other one? They're already on their first new parts of the season. So if they obviously take another one, they're going to be getting penalties.
More penalties already.
Oh no.
I still think that engine penalty thing needs to be upped a bit.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
We discussed that last week, didn't we, on the podcast last week about penalties?
Yeah,
It's already coming back. Yeah.
3 races in, and a team's already getting penalties and whatever else, or likely to get penalties.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not great.
So
Great in the sport.
No, it's not.
we got a 2 out of 10 from Will. Lard,
Yeah, I'd say that's fair. 2 out of 10.
2 out of 10. Waff,
Well, I'll give it a 3, I think.
3. Henry,
I'll give it a 2 out of 10 as well.
I'm going to give it a 2 out of 10 because it was just boring. In fact, to the point that they actually got some people from Formula One going, wow, typing a tweet on the screen going, wow, best race ever, best hashtag race 1000, whatever it was, outstanding victory. And they actually traced him back to being part of the marketing team for Formula One management.
I
Dear.
feel the year before we were spooked because we had that safety car, but didn't we, the year before?
Yeah.
We needed something like that also, like, just to spice it up for the last sort of 10, 15 laps.
Well, they had a virtual safety car.
Yeah, I was about to say, you're forgetting the virtual safety car that lasted for about 3 corners.
Yeah.
Hey, I got my predictions right on Fantasy GP. That did so. Don't
Someone likes to brag, don't they? Okay. Let's move on to Henry's segment whilst we all concentrate. The news!
Woo! Okay, Giovinazzi, without saying too much, obviously, we'll talk about...
Hang on, I've got to do this. The timer is now hit 9:45. Here's the latest news headlines from Totally Gamage.
Giovinazzi, obviously, we haven't spoken about him yet. We will be speaking about him in thingy, but in China, Haas and Ferrari used the new ECU bit for their cars, and Alfa didn't, and it failed on them in China, and obviously they've had the consequences this weekend, which we'll discuss later on in the show, so to speak. Do you want some Baku news?
Please.
Baku news. Obviously, I've said about Bonotto saying about the race pace. Obviously, we spoke about Renault. They struggled to get the car set up perfectly. Raikkonen said, we'll give it a little bit away, but he said that they look like amateurs today. So, whatever he's not happy with, something there, to be honest. And also, I'll take you over to the chat because Joe Vera said, when anyone mentions Joss, I always think of that pit stop where the fuel sprayed everywhere and set the car alight.
Yeah, in Hockenheim that time.
There you go.
Don't give him plans or ideas.
Michael Patterson also agrees with Joe on that. And obviously, do you want to start talking about Baku now, or do you want to wait 5 minutes?
What we got? We got 3 laps to go. Well, 4 laps to go. Well, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 laps to go. I can't count. 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 5. Oh wait, no, it's 4.
Fingers, guys.
Welcome to Counting with Tracker.
That's going to be the podcast title.
To be fair, you could probably fit FP1 into the next 5 laps.
Yeah, let's talk about that. That was a comedy of errors, wasn't it? Let's start with the serious stuff, though. Russell and Williams on that back straight. Well,
Do you know whose car went over the drain pipe and
Yes.
lifted it up?
it was Leclerc, wasn't it?
It was Leclerc, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's Leclerc's fault, but
No. You can't blame a driver for that. Leclerc was just doing his job and driving down the track.
I ballywell will. It's his.
Yeah. Did he feel it? Did he have reported that? Was he like, the Mercedes is behind me, let's bugger them up?
There we go. Mercedes conspiracies from Mr. Will's toy clearance. Or Ferrari conspiracies from Mr. Will's toy clearance.
Yep.
he didn't know. It was a loose thing, wasn't it? It was a loose thing. It wasn't tight enough.
No, it's happened with Monaco, hasn't it?
Yes, Monaco, yeah.
Where did Grosjean go over it? That was a fast corner as well. It was very dangerous.
Was it Barrichello that it damaged Barrichello's car at Monaco?
Button
Button.
going up the up
Button,
towards the
mate,
casino.
button, mate.
Yeah.
Oh,
Button,
shut up!
mate.
Shut up! It was Button's McLaren that he damaged. Shut up with the accent.
But I think it's... Go on, Waffle.
I was going to say, I saw something somewhere. I think on Baku circuit there are something like 217 drain covers
Yeah.
or something like that.
There's more than that. It's about 300.
Yeah,
isn't it?
320.
Oh, is it?
But-
Oh, okay.
Don't you find that Baku, since it's what is it? This is only race 4, isn't it? From here, was it race 3? It's one of the two. They've had a bad luck with the track kind of things. The first year that Bottas was in, well, when Bottas was in the Williams, he went over a drain cover
Drain cover happened to him, didn't it? Yeah,
on the
happened to
pit
him,
lane.
didn't it?
Then was it last year or the year before during GP2? They went over one of the sausage curbs on the pit exit, and that came loose. I want to say, I'm sure that was Baku as well, because they had to stop a session. And I've got tumbleweed on the stream here, everyone. That's how good that bit was. That was like a John, you're talking balls.
You've got us all now sitting thinking, like,
Stroking beard
we
time.
living it in this instead of talking about the current one. Yeah, I mean, I think, as well, obviously, he hit the rain cover and obviously got out to have a look underneath. I think you've got to say something as well about the recovery truck.
20 minutes of comedy.
Yeah.
It's my idiot of the race.
Idiot of the week.
What, drain cover or
The recovery truck driver.
I mean, surely, as a recovery truck driver, you know how tall a bridge is and how tall the cabin is. Surely you should be able to look at a bridge and I'm not getting under that.
You'd think.
You'd think, yeah.
He played a part in FP3 as well, didn't he? Because when Stroll crashed, he got back to the pit lane and Racing Point were told, collect it from the end of the pit lane, or we've got a crane.
Where the weight
But
bridge
nobody
is.
had told him. And nobody had told him, so he parked up in the race for in the pit lane. He came in the pit lane and he parked up outside the garage. But they couldn't get the car off the garage because the crane was down the other end where all the mechanics were.
I think we have idiot of the week, gentlemen. I think we have idiot of the week. I don't think there's anyone going to dispute that, no matter what happens with drivers. I think that has to be idiot of the week because the footage of him going underneath that Rolex sign, the Rolex bridge, just seeing the flatbed shake. But then, to add insult to injury, all the
Oil and
fluid, hydraulic fluid, dripping onto the back of a Williams that has Rocket as its sponsor. Yeah.
It can only make it go faster.
I saw what I wanted people to put on in the Discord of the Photoshop, didn't we?
Yeah. That was just something else, wasn't it? I don't think I've seen anything so comical for something so serious.
Apparently it's going to cost Williams $500,000, I reckon.
What did Baku give them as a sorry?
Oh God,
Go
a
on.
bunch of flowers.
Are you
Yeah.
kidding me? Are you kidding me?
No, they gave him a bunch of flowers to say sorry, and Williams have got them up in the. I've got the flowers on show in their in one of their offices or whatever.
Have they
To be
got?
fair,
Did they send the flowers going? I'll give you a bunch of flowers, please. Don't sue us.
Well, they're going to sue him anyway, aren't they? Well, not sue him, but they're going to talk to him.
Yeah,
to be fair, it might be the only thing they get all season.
Oh.
You say that, they're getting the wooden spoon at the end. Come on now.
Yeah, but they're building the cars with that.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, it's not.
They're
It's
getting upgrades.
they can't afford the titanium floorboards. You know,
Yeah.
they've gone back to wood.
Going to Morgan for their chassis.
I think the only other thing that happened in FP1 was, we started to see a couple of upgrades. We've started the upgrade race.
Yes.
But even then, it was only Ferrari and Red Bull.
McLaren had some.
Oh, did they? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
McLaren bought a couple of upgrades along.
Forgive me, John.
You're more than welcome. I watched the footage.
Ferrari bought theirs early, didn't they? Ferrari bought theirs early.
Yeah, they've worked overtime to get theirs to this race rather than hanging fire for 2 weeks to Spain.
Well, they know in Spain that these upgrades are going to work. Plus, I think they've got a couple more in the pipeline for Spain. So if it works well here, then hopefully they reckon it's going to work well in Spain. So
Just a quick one because I'm seeing the chat. What's going on in the chat, Ted?
Tracking needs an abacus from
Well played, sir. Well played.
Wait, it gets better. Michael Patterson says, go sit in the corner, tracking the dunce. And I'm not even going to mod him for that. I'm going to leave it in the chat. I'm going to leave it in the chat.
Ow! That's harsh. Who said
hello,
that? Who said
Yasu.
that? Who said that?
I'm not saying who it said that. I'm just going to leave it in the chat. It's there for everybody to read.
That Jay.
Tell you what, Tracker, we'll buy you a bouquet of flowers.
Bouquet of flowers. Oh,
Yeah.
it's the only thing I'm going to win on this game.
Hello, Yashi's joined the chat. Hello.
Nice one.
Yashi also says that Baku will have to pay.
Yeah.
Which obviously they will have to, because I think it happened to Haas as well, didn't it? There was some
did.
damage. Haas got a track, and the track organisers paid for it. And Michael Patterson said 500,000 for flowers, great deal for Williams.
The car is pretty worthless.
Yeah, so there we go. That is
That's me.
the chat up to date.
So, let's talk about Free Practice 2 and a couple of accidents that happened there as well, weren't there? Oh, Last Lisa, thank you very much for the host there. A couple of accidents that happened. Who do we want to start with? Which torpedo?
Stroll and his altercation with the barrier again, because he can't have a session without touching a barrier at least once.
A bit like
He's
my
just
session,
gone
right?
to them. You what?
He steered into it, didn't he?
Yeah, in the back end, he lost. He was going onto it. He hit the brakes, started to turn in, lost the back end, and by then it was too. There was only one way he was going to go, and he was going to go straight into the barrier.
You lot sound surprised. You do know that.
We know that. We've discussed
We
about
know
who
that.
should replace him.
Did anybody see Stroll though? Because he was sat on a naughty chair, and his dad just walked away from him.
What?
Honestly, did you not see this? I watched it live.
Yeah.
They cut to the pit lane, to the Force India garage, and he was just sat on this chair, and it looked like he was on the naughty chair, and his dad was just in the background, just walking out the back of the garage.
Ah. I didn't see that.
I mean, the boy's just attracted to Armco, I've decided. He seems to just naturally drift towards it. And
You know, that's
I mean-
perfect timing to say that. That's exactly what's happened with me here.
I know, I've just watched. So that's why I'd say it.
You Tango Whiskey Alpha Tango.
The thing is, right? People doubt his ability, and he's got the chance to show it. I mean, they're not going to, they're a top
Flipping
10
heck, tyres
team,
are gone.
or, But every time they go to the racetrack, he just seems to do something that's sort of not beneficial to the team.
Well, today's look where Perez is and look where Stroll is.
Oh yeah, but Perez is always better at qualifying. Perez is pretty good at qualifying, isn't he? That's kind of one of his traits, I suppose.
Especially around this track, apparently.
Yeah,
Most podiums.
yeah, he's a bit of a master around here, isn't he?
Bit of a master.
And I can see our drivers making their
Michael Patterson just said Stroll has to spend his daddy's money somehow. He just does it by crashing.
Right. Who said? Right, Michael Patterson. How do I ban? No. I wouldn't, mate. I wouldn't.
Time out, 60 seconds.
I'm not that harsh. I'll tell you what, since we've done this, might as well switch back to the other view for the next half an hour. What we'll do is, because I need to get a fresh drink, I'm going to switch back to this one. Oh, no, I want to switch that one because it's still recording. We're going to take a 5-minute break. And when we come back from our break, we're going to talk about the rest of Azerbaijan, mainly qualifying. We'll see you in 5 minutes. Bye. Welcome back to the Turn 1 podcast with myself, John. I'm also joined by Will, Lard, Damien, and Henry in the chat. Say hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
Oh.
Special. Is that everyone? I don't know. I may cut off.
Henry's buggered off.
Oh, Henry's.
man.
There he is. There he is.
Okay.
It's hard getting down to the chat, the pit lane, you know.
It's very quiet down there, I can tell you. There's nobody here.
All right. Is it free practice one all
Get
over
ready for
again?
your notebook, yeah?
Who's Damien? Ooh. Sorrel, thank you very much for the raid. Hello. I'll just say hello, Mook, Sorrel. Last Lisa, I haven't said hello to you yet. Some bloke called Waff, he's in the chat, you know. Who else have I not said hello to? I think I said hello to everyone else, haven't I? Yasser, I haven't said hello to Yasser yet either. That should be everyone. There we go. Apparently he does math. What? Oh, Michael, you're getting close. You're getting close. Don't make me time you out. Oh dear. Okay, let's talk about quali today. So there were some other things in the news, by the way, that we haven't talked about. That I put to Henry earlier.
Have I forgotten something?
You have forgotten something. I'm in the wrong blooming thing. Turn 1 podcast, that'll help. F1 news. I put down
Go on.
about.
I'm looking at it now, see? I can see.
Hang on. The Miami GP. News about that broke this week as well. So
It's a no-go.
it's a no-go, yeah. So obviously, Liberty Media have been looking to get a second GP in the US, but the Miami GP was rejected by the local people, and then they didn't want it. It's something to do with the Hard Rock GP now. It's just completely gone into it. What's your thoughts, guys, about getting a second race in the United States?
Does it really need it? Really, when you come down to it, does it really need a second one?
I'm with you on that one. I mean, they're talking about a second China. Well,
Yeah, I was going to say about the China thing.
do you need to go to China again?
Not after the last race, no.
No, the China one, no, definitely not.
Yeah,
You could do, but there's talk of Malaysia coming back in 2022. I want to say.
You see, that'd be nice. I mean, I like Malaysia as a track. I think it's quite an interesting track.
Yeah.
But I think that they seem to be chasing this. We need to increase the presence of F1 in North America, and I think they're fighting with sort of stuff which is already far too established. I mean, I think it's almost like they want to become bigger than NASCAR in America, and I just don't think, with that, and then things like the Indy 500, which is huge. I just don't think they're ever going to hit that kind of level of interest.
No, they kind of. I think they've got to undo a lot of damage that was done in Indy 500 in the Indy circuit back in 2005. I want to say 2005. Was it?
Yeah, it was around then.
Yeah, when the Michelin teams decided to peel off into the pits for safety. Good call by them. And it was just those three teams, Jordan, Ferrari, and Arrows, yeah. That on the grid. And made it one of the worst races ever, really. Predictable.
That's what really killed it, wasn't it, for a while, wasn't it?
Yeah. And they haven't really given much time for the Circuit of the Americas, really. It's a good racetrack, Circuit of the Americas, even though it's nicked pretty much from every other track around the world.
That's what makes it so good, though, isn't it, really? It's just taking the best sort of section of track from some racetracks and they put it together as one racetrack.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it works. That's
Exactly.
It does. It really does.
And it's in Austin as well, which is like the middle of USA, so it's quite easy to get to.
Well, it's NASCAR territory as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to kill the Xbox. There we go. Not have the sound over the top. Now I can speak. Mook, sorry, I know I'm taking your role here, Ted, but Mook says turn 1 is amazing. It's a good turn.
As in Austin.
Yes, Austin.
Yeah.
It is a good turn. It's nice and wide. Was it? Is it at least 6 cars wide? That one.
Well, when you can see it.
Yeah.
It's the height elevation that makes it interesting.
Yeah.
It is, isn't it? It's such a high. It's kind of on par with Spa. You know the bit I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Rouge.
Yeah, thank you. I swear my brain is switched off tonight. That's what watching the Avengers Endgame does.
Only emotion, John.
No, there's no spoilers.
spoilers now.
No spoilers. It's just that's all I'm going to say.
I was talking about F1, but okay.
Yeah, we're talking about F1. That's the main reason we're here. We're not here to talk about films. I'm not Mark Kermode. I'm not right. What about? So that's what I've read about that. Let's talk about qualifying, and we'll start with Giovinazzi, the bit of news that broke before qualifying even started. I didn't think it was before even free practice 1 started. Giovinazzi's grid penalty, because you mentioned that in the news, Henry. Do you want to elaborate a bit more on that?
Yeah, so in China, Ferrari brought a new sort of ECU, because obviously they've got problems with their electrical things, haven't they, as Bahrain. So Haas and Ferrari decided to run this new ECU, and Alpha didn't, and then it failed again. It failed on Giovinazzi's, and of course he's already used 2 this season. So he gets a nice new fresh one, but he gets a 10-place grid penalty.
Oh, still there, Henry?
Yeah, I'm still there. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you sounded like you just went dead for a second there.
Oh, okay. What did you hear? Do you want to go for it again?
I think we heard it.
I think we heard it all.
Oh, you heard it. That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was pretty much it. I don't think there's anything else to add to that, really, is there?
No.
Oh,
No.
Will.
We mentioned the Kubica news that came out.
No. Is that related to what happened in Q1?
No. The fact the team have definitely said that his car is different to Russell's. The whole, we have found something that is fundamentally wrong with my car.
Right.
From the Bahrain test, I think.
Yes, it is, yeah.
Yeah, I think we did. I think we went over that in the China in the last
Yeah.
podcast.
more has come out of that because obviously they've changed the parts round. But coming to what's happened in qualifying, they might not have those bits at all now as such. Because the chassis was cracked, which they reckon the defining factor why Russell Kubica was slower.
Right.
That's gone in his incident, and the one that Russell was using, which was, as I believe, he is also gone. So that's a bit of interesting news.
Right. Okay. I suppose with the car being wrecked yesterday, they've got to put everything on a bit of hold now, haven't they? You know, because they'll have to rush to build a third chassis and have the space supplies, won't they?
The Channel 4 commentary, which I watched earlier, did worry that they might not have any parts to run Kubica in tomorrow's race.
Blimmin' heck.
I think they do, because that would have been reported, but it's going to be a squeeze, I think.
So, go on. Someone was going to say something. Oh, well, Mook's put Williams didn't bring any spares.
Ah, there you go.
Which is...
So, cardboard and flowers?
What about a roll of duct tape? Do you think that will work?
That's going to be it, isn't it? It's going to be Robert Kubica running the track with flowers in hand.
Sponsored by Wilco's.
Apparently, they've said that they can confirm that Kubica will take part in the race tomorrow.
He will take part in the race.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So let's.
I bet they're going to put.
The fact they've had to confirm that shows you how many parts they must not have. It must have been a worry.
So let's talk about Q1 then. Let's talk about qualifying in general. We'll start with Q1. Guys, what unusual qualifying. We don't normally see so many incidents in incident-packed qualifying, and not in the way that we normally think. Two cars, same section of track. Start with Kubica. Just pure unlucky.
Yeah. I think so. His track. Every time.
You got the curse of Will's clock.
No.
Clock. I said clock. I said clock.
I didn't say anything.
God damn it.
Yeah, I think I think he was. To be fair to the guy, I think he was just. He's hit the inside curb. He's caught the slightest amount of air, which meant he's had no traction when he's landed, and he's just gone straight ahead. Again, though, I think it brings into a question: is he the right man for the car? I mean, I know sort of found a fundamental flaw with the car, but it just kind of backs up he should never have been given a seat anywhere. I think you've got to ask: could a different driver have avoided that? Because I mean, you've got the runoff to the right, and
react quick enough.
Yeah.
And we know he can't steer to one side or there's one side. Because it looked indecisive. Because it looked like steer and sort of not hit it on.
Yeah.
But it just did.
I mean, that's sort of what sort of crossed my mind, is when the car sort of turned to the ground, there was no sort of indication as to the wheels as to I'm going to do this to at least try and minimise the impact on the car. Wheels were straight, or as straight as they should be out of that sort of thing. There was no indication he tried to recover at all. And I mean, I suppose you can say, it's hard and what, but at the same time, I think most of the drivers would at least attempt to correct it whilst it was in the air.
Yeah.
From the on-board shot, I'm hoping I'm not confusing this with Leclerc, but from what Sky was showing, he did actually nick the barrier on the inside going into that corner.
Yeah.
So
and then it damaged the left-hand suspension. And you saw him turn the wheel into the left, but it just wasn't moving. So that point, that error he made, was before the impact, was well before he tried turning it, because he hit too close into that side, the left-hand side, and that's what caused it.
Didn't Vettel also do the same but managed to steer?
Yes, Vettel touched it with his rear wheel, and then it just kicked the back end down. He managed to.
Yeah, because Channel 4 said it was exactly the same incident, yet Vettel got away with it, was their words. But was that reaction? Because obviously Vettel is a seasoned, good driver.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. I mean, I heard, I can't remember, it was one of the guys on Sky Coach said, this is Kubica's first experience of Baku. And obviously, with FP1 being as short as it was and whatnot. But I just think, if he's a seasoned race driver, inexperience of the track is not really to me, that's not an excuse.
Surely he would have done enough from the simulator to at least know.
Yeah, you would think so. You would think, I mean, that's got to be Baku's most famous.
Yeah.
So you would think, if you're going to practice any corner on the track in the simulator, you practice that one. Because
Go on.
Don't know who was saying anything there. We've just gone silent. That was all.
All I was going to say is, did he really need to push it to that point? He knew he was going to be out, and they can't afford the car. Why did he take that risk on that, which is known for? Was that just ego, or just really bad driving?
Well, I mean, the red flag came. The red flag came into play at 0:00 sort of thing, so he couldn't have timed it any better.
It just seemed pointless going for a fast run.
Yeah.
They were so far off the pace anyway.
Yeah, I'm just working out the stats for that as we speak in regards to the timings, because I'm looking on. Anyone who's watching the stream is watching me look down at a pad. I've got timings on the phone. I've got working it out by hand what the gaps are. At the minute I've worked it out that Kubica's pace. So qualifying, who was it? Bottas got a 140.495. Kubica qualified 4.12 seconds behind the time set in Q1. I've elaborated that. He qualified on a 145.455, which meant he was just under 5 seconds off the pace of of the Mercedes. 5 seconds.
What's that in percentage? I guess is the question. Was he trying to make sure he was in
the 107%?
Yeah.
Well, let's see what that is. So we've got
the man that couldn't count to 6 is now doing math, guys.
Yeah. Have you got an abacus there, mate?
Well, no, it's 105%, surely.
No, it's 7.
It's 107%. That's what it should be.
Well, what I mean is he was at about 105%. His time.
We'll find out in a moment.
Luke says 107%.
So 107%. So he's at Woff's got the right one. It's 105% because 140 is 100 seconds. So to be inside it, it should be a 147.529. So yeah, Mook's got a point. That Williams has been 5 seconds out all season. That is going to be, so if it's 140, what's that? So 140, 5 seconds. Yeah, I'm doing more maths.
If the front pull away any more, Williams are going to have to worry about 107.
Exactly.
I think fast tracks will be like Monza. If they're that now, they get to Monza, they're going to be close to that 107%, aren't they?
Very.
So,
surprised China didn't show that up as well. That's a massive thing.
So we're looking at the Williams is starting to be overtaken by lap 21, if not sooner.
If they carry that pace, which they probably won't, will they?
That's their qualifying. That's not even race pace.
Yeah. So probably about lap 17, lap 18, they'll be lapped.
That's dangerous. That's just too slow.
They need a safety car, really.
Every lap?
Well, yeah, every lap would do them, wouldn't it? Just the safety car goes in, somebody has a crash, they'll have another safety car, they'll be alright.
Do you know what? Just give them the safety car.
Yeah, it's faster.
Yeah. There you go,
So-
boys.
so-
Like this.
Cubitron will crash it.
So Russell's best lap was a 1:45.002. 140.
Okay.
So both cars in the 145s.
It's maths with tracker.
Dear. Well, that's just it's right though. It's about how dangerous those cars are. I mean, even when McLaren were going through the beginning stages with Honda back in the turbo era, they weren't that far off the pace. They started picking up the pace, as the engine got turned up. So this is proper dangerous. And I know this is the fourth podcast in a row we've talked about Williams, but something's got to give, isn't it?
Well, I don't think it's a case of something. I think anything to give. They've got to change anything. Anything has got to be better than what they're currently doing, which seems to be nothing and or going backwards.
Well, last year's car was faster.
Yeah.
The year before and the year before. Something is fundamentally wrong with that team. Even Force India, which I'm going to call Force India because they are still India's car, which was something on Channel 4 earlier. I don't know which driver it was. I think it was Norris, called them Force India.
Yeah.
Because it's last year's car.
It is.
Perez said that himself in an interview. He was like, yeah, it's still the Force India until Barcelona. Then he says we've got to prove ourselves. But they are in last year's car and they're qualified. So they're nice. In fact, they beat McLaren. That's how good that is.
Sorry, I'm having if anyone's wondering why we're laughing, there's something. It was all stream related. I'm not going to break it. 'Cause, so we got to quickly go.
Hold
We
on.
got some.
Yeah, I've got a quote here from Kubica. Would you like me to read it out for you?
Go for it.
Okay, I turned in too soon and clipped the wall at turn 8, which launched me to the outside of the next corner, which is the narrowest point on the Formula 1 calendar. The temperature is not helping us, but this was a driver mistake, and we will evaluate the car for damage.
I messed up. I don't know what happened there.
I'm using a politician's answer.
It is a bit vague, isn't it? It's a case of I did some things, and then something happened because of that, and then things happened. Then things.
I was on the way to the petrol station. I suddenly ran out of fuel. I'm not sure why. There was plenty of fuel in the tank beforehand. He said I had about 15 miles to go, but I knew the petrol station was 20 miles away. I wonder what could have caused it.
So he's admitted that it was his fault and he should have left space, but
Yeah.
He's saying it's not his fault at the same time, though. It's a bit... Yeah. Don't know what to say about that.
Just before we quickly run on to Q2,
Yes.
I've got a statistic for you. Would you like a statistic?
Yeah, go for it. Me with maths, we're talking.
Yep. Our good friend Lance Stroll has now been out of Q1 8 races in a row.
8 races.
8 races he has been out in Q1.
Flipping heck.
A record.
That is a
That's it's got to be. I mean, you talking earlier about his dad just walking out of the garage and leaving him in the chair with performances like this. I'm surprised he's still in the chair.
Yeah, he was 0.144 off of Ricardo's time.
Yeah.
So,
and let's be honest, that Renault is not exactly the fastest car this weekend. It's dog shit, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
No, that's true. True.
8 consecutive races though. 8.
Yeah.
Qualifying's not his strong point, is it? Mind you, I suppose his race is probably not his strong point either.
I was going to say, does he have any strong points? Oh, crashing, and spending his dad's money.
You do know that now we're slagging him off. He's probably going to have the race of his career now, isn't he?
No. No.
Force India do go well here, though. So
He's
we'll have
gonna
to wait and see.
Oh, come on. Ocon crashed into Raikkonen last year. Perez and Ocon the year before.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen this year because Stroll's nowhere near Perez, so that's not going to happen this year.
No. Stroll's down in 16th. Why is he qualifying on the grid? It's 15th. He's now qualified. Oh, he's 14th on the grid. 14th on the grid.
14th, yeah.
One massive lunch and he's there.
He's next to K-Mag. He's sandwiched between K-Mag and Grosjean. He's going to be out of the race by turn 2.
He's going to be out, isn't he? He's going to be out, because it's him and K-Mag. That'll be it, won't it?
Yeah. They have a safety car.
K-Mag's already hit.
Q2. We really got to spin on. Q2. Leclerc. Same corner.
Yep, same mistake. Called himself stupid. Can't argue with it.
He actually said, "I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot."
Did you see what was on his steering wheel on the screen?
No.
If you watch it back, when after he climbs out of the car, you can see the steering wheel. It says on the right hand side of his steering wheel, "Stay positive."
Is that what he says?
Oh, that's about having mission winnow all over your car.
Yeah.
Just keep smiling. Just keep smiling. Oh dear.
But it's the first time we've not had both Ferraris in Q3 since Malaysia 2017.
It is, isn't it?
It's been a long time we've not had a Ferrari in Q3.
Like I said, we've got to spin on really quickly. Anything that comes out from the rest of the qualifying? Anything that comes out?
Bottas' speed right at the end.
Yeah.
That was good.
That was a finish to just end all finishes. That was incredible. I actually stood up and cheered for.
Yeah.
Is he going to thank Lando Norris and McLaren for the tow he got? Because he probably wouldn't have got it otherwise.
Yeah, I mean the tour around Baku anyway is incredible.
Yeah.
You look at it, as soon as you've got any kind of space, there's no speed. The tour around Baku is incredible.
They were practicing it quite a few times, weren't they? Quite a few teams were practicing it over 3 practices.
Yeah. I mean, I think the only other thing is after we started, after our good friend Damien bounced off the wall just to, get some practice in.
Those Toro Rossos have been in the wall all weekend, haven't they? It's like they live there now.
They love their walls.
Both Albon and Kvyat have been in the wall, hit the walls today.
Well, I think that chime sounds like we need to start wrapping things up, I'm afraid. Let's talk about before well, it's 10:30 and I said I'd be off at 10:30. Let's have a look quickly at the predictions. So last week we did predictions properly. We did a point system now, and we've agreed on the following. It's 4 points for a win, 3 points for second, 2 points for third. Best of the rest gets 1 point. The fastest laps gets 1.5 points, and idiot of the week gets 1 point. And this is how the predictions all come up so far. So I've got so far from the 2 rounds 5.5 points. I have not misspelt idiot. There is a story behind that. Jay is on 4 points. Lard is on 6 points. Will, because he predicted first and second place correctly last week, he's on 10. Henry is holding his own with 2.5. And yes. Damien is sitting there just above on 3 points. So Will's got the lead at the minute. The idiot story is links back from something that happened at my former work. Ages ago, I used to work for, if anyone remembers Warner Village Cinemas, now View Cinemas. Yep. Yeah. We entered a 5-side football team and we called it the Village Idiots. Submitted it. That's not what came back. Village iDots was what came back. Only an idiot misspells idiot. So, calling me an idiot for not knowing my maths. I'll use that one. There we go. So, predictions-wise, first, second, third, best of the rest, fastest lap, and idiot of the week. Let's start with Lard.
Okay, so first, Hamilton. Second, Bottas.
Yeah.
Third, Verstappen.
Yeah.
Best of the rest, Raikkonen.
Right.
Because, the Alfa Romeo, when they were going down the main straight, they were putting in some decent times in qualifying. So I'm going to go for them. Fastest lap, I am going to go with Hamilton.
Yeah.
And idiot of the week is the truck driver.
Yeah. Ruck. Right. Will.
Hamilton for first, Bottas for second, Vettel for third, fastest lap to Leclerc, best rest Perez, and idiot of the week. I'm going to go. I have a feeling he's going to crash out another year consecutively.
Who's that?
Hulkenberg.
Hulkenberg. Okay. Henry.
Hello. First, torn. I'm going to say Vettel first,
Yeah.
and then I'm going to say Bottas and Hamilton.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be a close race. Best of the rest, I'm going to say Perez. Idiot is going to be the lorry driver. Fastest lap, I also go with Leclerc as well for fastest lap.
Right. We've got a little thing that I've got to say. So we said fastest lap was Leclerc, didn't we?
Yeah.
And best of the rest was... sorry, Will. Best of the rest, Leclerc. No, best of the rest, Perez. Fastest lap, Leclerc. Yeah?
Yeah.
Got him switched around the wrong way. That's fine. Damien.
I think 1 through 3 will stay as it starts. So Bottas, Hamilton, Vettel.
Yeah.
I think best of the rest will be Mr. Raikkonen, fully agreeing with Lard. Fastest lap, I'm going to give it to young Max,
Yeah.
and I'm going to say idiot of the week will either be our good friend the truck driver, or I'm going to expect young Mr. Stroll to do what he does best and come diving down the outside and wipe at least 4 hours out.
Right. Okay. No probs. Jay has gone with very quickly. Where have I got it? I've got it on DM. Where is it? Jay has gone with Hamilton first, Vettel second, Bottas third. Best of the rest is Perez. He's said Leclerc's got fastest lap, and he's gone for Sainz as idiot of the week. Wow. And for me, I'm going to go with... I think I'm going to have to go with Hamilton first, Bottas second, Vettel third. Best of the rest, I'm going to go with... Who's on the list? I'm going to stick with Norris. I'm going to put my neck out on the line and go with Norris. Fastest lap, I'm going to go with Verstappen. And idiot of the week, I'm going to go with the lorry driver. Because let's face it, he has to be idiot of the week. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you.
No worries.
So let's just do a quick wrap up. You can find us on iTunes on the Turn 1 podcast. Episodes 2, 3, and 4 will be live. Episode 1 is coming off, but if you join our Discord group, we have episode 1 available to listen to through there. You can find us on Twitter at Turn 1 podcast. You can even email us podcastturn1@gmail.com because someone else has got Turn 1 podcast, and I'm definitely not bitter about that. Next time round, we'll be talking about the results of this race, the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and we'll also be talking about Spain and probably Development Corner, Henry's favourite part of the section.
Yes.
Till next time, though, thank you ever so much. See you.